Today we are talking about net worth. What is it? Why do we need to be concerned about net worth? And how do we calculate net worth? Hello and welcome to Seb Talks Money. This is a place where we talk strategies, all things money that lead to financial freedom. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So again, today we're talking about net worth. And a lot of times we hear in the news about celebrities and we think they make so much money. How could they not have money? How could they be broke? Net worth is the problem because their liabilities outweigh their assets. And so we're going to break that down a little bit more this afternoon. When you think about net worth answers the question, at this point in my life, where am I financially? If you think of a balance sheet, it has a list of assets and it has a list of liabilities in the corporate world. In your personal life, you have a list of assets, your house, your car, but then you may have liabilities attached to that. You owe on the mortgage, you owe for the car. So those are your liabilities. Conceivably, you want your assets, the value of your assets, to outweigh the value or the debt that you owe. So you're looking at a list of what you owe, at what you own, compared to a list of what you owe. And at the end of the day, you want the value of what you own to outweigh the value of what you owe. All right, so let's dive into this. Again, when you think about net worth, you are thinking about, where am I financially? If I were to liquidate all of my assets, if I were to get rid of, sell my house, sell my car, sell my furniture, sell my jewelry, that nice fur coat you have, if you were to sell that and take the cash from it and pay off all your debts, all your liability, what do you have left? If you have a negative position, then we need to let's work on that, because what that means is you've gotten rid of all of your assets, you've applied it to your debt, your liabilities, and you still owe some people, but you have no assets to generate cash to pay those liabilities. So you want to have your assets, the value of your assets, to be more than the value of your liabilities, and we're gonna look at that in more detail. Now, when I think net worth, I also think of it as a financial margin, a financial safety net. I shared before, when you think of celebrities, you wonder how they have this huge house, they have these cars, they have all of this, but they can't pay their debt because their liabilities outstrip their assets. So when I think of that, I think of net worth as a safety net, because if I were to get rid of all my assets, I still have a little bit of money that I can maneuver with. Typically, as we get older, our net worth grows. And here's an example of why that is. You buy a house, it's $500,000, your mortgage is $500,000. As you pay down that mortgage, you are, even if the house doesn't appreciate or doesn't depreciate, you have a $500,000 house, and your loan, the value of your loan, is the amount you owe on the loan is going down. So you have a $500,000 house that is valued at market, $500,000. Now your loan is maybe $350,000. So you have an asset that outweighs the loan on your house. And that's the position you want to be in. You do not want the flip side, where your liability outstrips your assets. So typically, as we grow older, again, we're paying down our mortgages, we're paying down our cars, and the value of those assets are increasing. So again, when you think net worth, it is what is the total assets that I own? My car, my clothes, my jewelry, my furniture, all of that. Taking that into consideration at the market value, and you're saying, if I were to sell those and pay off all of my debt, what do I have left? That is your net worth, and you want that to be a positive number. I am going to demonstrate. I'm going to walk through a spreadsheet and demonstrate how we can calculate or net worth. But before I do that, if you look in the chat, there is a pinned comment, and that is the app that I use to track my net worth. I don't actually do a spreadsheet. In that app, I link my 401k, my savings accounts, my many savings accounts, because I have a savings account for different things, for vacation. I'm saving for vacation, for emergency. I have different ones. So I link my savings account, my checking account, my 401k, my pension. I link all of that to the app. And I also link, the only liability I really have is my student loan. And I link that. I also link my credit cards to the app, but I pay those off every month. But when I open the app, it gives me a net amount of what my net worth is at a point in time. I don't really track it per se because the app gives me that number. So I encourage you to click on that app. If you were to click on that app, that link, you are going to get $20, and I am going to get $20 when you use that link. Personal Capital is well known. It is if you do a search on Personal Capital, you will see that it is vetted. It's a vetted app, and they also do investments. They give you advice on your investments. They will look at your breakdown of your 401k, and they'll give you advice also. So click on that link, and you'll get $20. I get $20. Link all your accounts, and you can track your net worth that way. And it's going to be a seamless process for you. You just kind of look in the app. I don't really have everything in there because I don't have my furnishings. I don't have my cryptocurrency that I have investments in. I don't have that in there. I have another savings account that I don't link to it because I'm having problems doing that. So there are things that's not in the app for me, but at least it gives you a baseline. It gives you a good idea of where you are financially. And you also want to try to track your net worth at least once per year. Now, if you have a lot of stock and the market is doing crazy things, then you want to probably try to track that a little bit more frequently. But the conventional wisdom is you try to track your net worth at least once per year. Because again, if you were to lose your job and you had to liquidate your assets, you want to be in the position that you're going to have some money left over to take care of some things if you have to get rid of your assets and pay down your liabilities. So you want to keep track of what position that is in. So let me share real quick, and I am going to jump into a spreadsheet and just kind of do a quick calculation of what you can look at when you calculate, if you're wanting to use a spreadsheet to calculate your net worth. Now, another thing too is as I share this, I have several categories in there that I just kind of put in there as assets and as liabilities. So you may have different ones. Half of these I don't have, but that's okay. I just wanted to give you a general idea of what it looks like to track your liabilities and your net worth using your assets and your liabilities. So let's say our house is valued at $500,000. And our auto, we'll say, is valued at $12,000. And we're looking at market value. What you want to look at is what, and that's one of the reasons why you want to track this every year, is what would I be able to sell my car for? What would I be able to sell my house for on the market today? Because typically when you buy your house, you may buy it for $500,000, but today it's valued at $600,000. So when you're looking at when you're revamping your net worth, you want to look at market value. What would I get if I were to sell the house today? Okay. So real estate investment, let's say you have a house that you bought for rental. You have cash. Let's say you have $20,000 in cash. 401k, we'll say 250,000. You had some freestanding stock. We'll just say 23,000. Your cash value of your life insurance, because again, you're looking at cash, right? What can I get now? Because your life insurance is if you die, so you're not going to get that. You're not looking at the total value of the life insurance. You're looking at the cash value. What would I get if I were to take the cash value of my life insurance? So let's say that's 13,000, and Personal property, that would be like your jewelry, your clothes, your fur, your those fancy things. So let's say that's valued at 20,000. And your household items like furniture, appliances, things like that, let's say that's valued at 13,000. I love the number 3. I keep putting 13 and 23. Receivables, let's say somebody owed you money. So, or you're expecting a refund from the IRS at the time when you're doing your net worth, your calculation. So we'll say 2,000 right here. So right now your total assets is $1,000,003,000, $1,003,000. So let's see what our liabilities are. So on this house now, I still owe 370,000, right? For the car, I owe 7,000, let's say. My real estate investment loan, let's say I owe 123 on that. I have a home equity loan, let's say. I don't know, how much would that be? 7,000, 6,000? Let's put 6,000. And student loans, let's say our student loans are 130. Credit cards, let's say we have credit cards that we're not paying off every month, right? Like for me, this wouldn't matter because I pay mine off every month. But let's say you have a balance on there that you're trying to pay down. So we'll just say that's 12,000. And you have personal loans, whether it's from family or friends or from the bank. We're gonna say that's 8,000. And you owe taxes, maybe to the IRS instead of a refund. You owe taxes, Let's see. Let's say that's let's say that's 9,000. Well, that's a lot. Let's say 3. Okay. And then past due items. Maybe you have a doctor's bill that you owe. Maybe you have a utility bill that you owe on that you need to get caught up on. So we're gonna say that your daughter's, your children's, I don't know, their orthopedic bill, for those braces, and we'll make that 4,000. So basically what this is saying is when you're tracking your assets, this is what if I were to sell my assets today, I would get 1,003,000, right? And I would be able to cover my liabilities of 663, which means my net worth at this point in time is 340,000. So that's telling me that once I pay all my bill, I have 340,000 that I can use to rebuild my life. If I were to lose my job and I want to move to a different area, so I'm going to sell everything. If I want to move to a different country, maybe I'm close to retirement age and I want to move to a different country and live a little bit better on my US dollar is going to go a little further. So I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to cash in everything, and I'm going to pay down all of my debt, all of my liabilities. And this is what I now can play with. So again, the assets is what you own. The liabilities are what you owe. And the net of those would be your net worth. So let me stop sharing and jump back here and see if we have any comments. But I hope that that's helpful to you, because you want to track your net worth. You don't want to end up like those athletes, celebrities, where at the end of the day, they sell everything and they still owe the IRS. They still owe the bank. They still owe other people because their liabilities were more than their assets. You want to make sure you're looking at your position and see, how can I structure this so that my total assets are more than my liability? So let me jump to the comments and see who's here and just say hi. Beverly, hi Beverly, thanks for joining. AmSab Kitchen, please go follow AmSab Kitchen. She has it's a husband and wife team, and they have a great channel about food. So thank you so much for joining us, AmSab Kitchen. Sid from Miami is here. Hi Sid, thank you for joining us. And Judy is here. Her channel is Asian American Legal Focus. She has a question. I'm going to click on that in a little bit. And Kathy Coates is here. She has a channel also where she shares menus, where she shares cooking, and she shares tips about things in the kitchen. So please go follow Kathy. So that's AmSab Kitchen. Please follow them. Follow Kathy Coates. also. And then with Judy, she has a question. So let me pull this up here. And American Legal Focus, she has a legal channel where she shares legal tips. And in fact, she is going to have two special attorneys on her channel later this afternoon live. And if you have legal questions, you can jump on there and ask them. She has attorney Boris, who is Boris, I think I'm saying his name right, Burris. He was one of the attorneys on the Rodney King case, and he was able to get Rodney King $3.8 million. So you want to go to Judy's, I think it's 7 p.m. this evening, Judy. Please let me know. Go over there and follow Judy at American Legal Focus and sit in on that conversation. And if you have questions, you can ask them there. All right. So she said, do you ever hear of people moving to retire in Jamaica? Is it cheaper to live there? Yes, your dollar goes a long way there. In fact, I think it was Friday when I did my video on my update on my savings challenge. And what happened is I have a place, my sisters have a place in Jamaica that we rent, and it's $10,000 per month. But when it transfers to US dollars, it's like what is it, like 30 something US dollars. So yes, it is cheaper. The US dollar goes much further in Jamaica, so it is cheaper to live there. A lot of people who when they had the Great Migration after World War I think it was World War II, and a lot of people migrated from Jamaica to the United Kingdom because they wanted workers, they wanted other people, and a lot of people migrated there because Jamaica was under the Commonwealth of Britain. They migrated there, and a lot of them, when they retire, they go back to Jamaica to live. So yes, it is much cheaper to live there. Oh, she said, I've heard of Americans moving to Mexico like Meghan Markle's dad. I'm actually in a couple of Facebook groups with people who live in other parts of the world, and I'm looking at what they're saying and trying to evaluate, do I want to live somewhere else? Because when I retire, well, I won't ever retire. I'll always be doing something. But when I retire from corporate America, I'm looking at how my dollar can go further, and it's not going to be the U.S. It's not going to be the U.S. Okay. Everything is overpriced here. So I'm actually looking at other countries to see how I can, if I want to go back to Jamaica to live, and maybe part-time and come here, or some other country. So I am exploring that option. And again, there are Facebook groups with and I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I'm in at least 3 of them, where we're looking at people who live in other countries of the world and how they're getting on. I mean, they are doing well in terms of making their retirement dollars go further for them. And with me starting, when I came to this country, I actually started my corporate career in my 30s. So I'm way behind, because when I came here, I had to start over. I had to go back to college, do all the things, because the U.S., thinking it's superior than everybody else, which is a bunch of malarkey, wanted people to, go back to school and start over. And I blew through college because I already knew the stuff. But anyway, let me stop griping. So I started later in life with my career. So I'm a little bit behind in my, building my net worth, but still I'm glad, because I am in the 6 figures. So I am actually in a great position, even though I wish, it was a little bit higher than what it is. So let me see, do we have any more comment? Amsab Kitchen is saying for the people moving to Spain or Africa. Yes, Africa, different countries in Africa. I'm looking at different countries in Africa as one of, as one of my options. So thanks, everyone. Again, go follow Kathy Coates for cooking channel. Go follow Amsab Kitchen for cooking channel also. I mean, they do great meals. And please follow American Legal Focus, and go check out this live stream this afternoon, which I think is 7 p.m. Correct, Judy? Where attorney Boris, again, who was one of the attorneys for Rodney King that got him that $3.8 million, is going to be a special guest on her channel, and you can ask him some questions. And there's also another civil rights attorney, and I can't remember his name. He's also going to be on the channel this afternoon. So if you have questions on anything civil rights related, please go over there, support Judy at American Legal Focus, and ask your questions. Okay, so see you here next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Women's History Month, and for the month of March, I'm going to have some dynamic women on this channel. We're going to be sharing different things for Women's History Month. So please come back next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you then. Have an awesome rest of the afternoon.